In the history of racing, Jacques Villeneuve has one of the most impressive records. In 1995, he won both the Indianapolis 500, coming back from a two-lap penalty, and the IndyCar Championship on the strength of 3 additional wins. Then, in 1997, wins, and after battling all season with the great Michael Schumacher, in all, Villeneuve won 11 Formula One races and 5 IndyCar races. While his critics may point out that for the remainder of his Formula One career, 1998 to 2006, he never won another race or finished higher than 5th in the championship, and his return to Indianapolis in 2014 resulted in him finishing 14th after being a non-factor. The fact is, Villeneuve had an impressive run in racing in the 4 years from 1994 to 1997. However, he was not the only person with his name in IndyCar and Formula One. That is the topic of this video. The other Jacques Villeneuve followed a similar path to that of his famous brother Gilles, this being their competition in snowmobile races in their native Canada and the northern United States. Gilles won the World Championship Snowmobile Derby in 1974, something that the elder Jacques would do in 1980, 1982, and 1986. Gilles would expand his efforts into car racing and won the 1976 IMSA Formula Atlantic Championship with 4 wins out of 6 races. He would move up to Formula One the next year and join Scuderia Ferrari before the end of it. With them, Gilles won 6 races, including the 1981 Monaco Grand Prix. After winning the 1977 championship in Honda Civic Quebecois, a series for identical Honda Civics, Villeneuve began to compete in Formula Atlantic in 1979. After that, he won the 1980 and 1981 championships. In the latter year, the younger Villeneuve brother got his own opportunity in Formula One. He was hired by Arrows Grand Prix International to replace Siegfried Stohr for the final 2 races of the season. Villeneuve's first entry would be his home race, the Canadian Grand Prix at Montreal. He would be taking quite a step up, and he would be driving an aging chassis, although he would have the advantage of having raced Atlantic cars and snowmobiles on the circuit. Unfortunately, in practice, Villeneuve crashed out and damaged his front wing, limiting his practice time. Come qualifying, the mentioned disadvantages were significant. Ultimately, Villeneuve's best lap time would be 1 minute and 36.720 seconds, which would rank him 28th out of 30 cars, meaning he failed to qualify. Villeneuve would return with Arrows for the season finale, the Caesars Palace Grand Prix. However, once again, he failed to qualify. This time, he was 1.2 seconds behind last place starter Eliseo Salazar. Villeneuve would not be retained by Arrows for the 1982 season. Unfortunately, he would not get a chance to race against his brother before the elder Villeneuve's death in a crash while practicing for the 1982 Belgian Grand Prix. Villeneuve's main opportunities in 1982 and 1983 would come in Can-Am. In the latter year, he won the championship with 3 wins out of 6 races. In this time, he also maintained his presence in Major League open-wheel racing. In 1982, Villeneuve made his IndyCar debut at the season finale race, Phoenix, driving for Jameson Racing. In perhaps his first oval race, Villeneuve qualified 24th out of 25 cars, but finished in 14th place, albeit 9 laps down. The following year, he made a final Formula One entry. Once again, it came at the Canadian Grand Prix. Villeneuve was hired by Ram Automotive Team March. He tested for the team at Motorsport and was quick enough in practice to qualify. However, when qualifying came, he struggled to get his tires warm and he missed the field by just 0.378 seconds. This would end up being Villeneuve's final Formula One entry. After winning the 1983 Can-Am Championship with them, Villeneuve went with Canadian Tire Racing to IndyCar full-time in 1984. They started off the year by finishing 6th at Long Beach in the series' first visit to the track. Villeneuve would then qualify for the Indianapolis 500, albeit as the slowest. Unfortunately, a practice crash badly damaged his car and gave Villeneuve a concussion. This would cause Villeneuve to withdraw and miss the race. Villeneuve made his return at Portland, where he finished in a respectable 6th place. However, he followed that up by being injured in another crash, this time during practice for the Michigan 500. After this, with the exception of Indianapolis, Villeneuve generally skipped the superspeedway ovals. Villeneuve made his second comeback of the year at Sennaar, IndyCar's first race in Canada since 1978. There, he got his first top 10 qualifying effort of the season by starting 8th. He ran just outside the top 5 and ultimately finished 8th. Villeneuve had a more impressive race at Phoenix. He would qualify on the pole position and lead the first 2 laps. On the 3rd lap, Bobby Rahal got the lead and Villeneuve would begin to drop back. It was speculated he was having a handling issue. Ultimately, Villeneuve finished 9th, although he was 4 laps down. He was ranked 15th in points and tied for 2nd in the Rookie of the Year standings. The following year, Villeneuve returned with Canadian Tire. At the season opener at Long Beach, he started 7th and got to 5th place at the start. On the 3rd lap, entering turn 1, Villeneuve passed Jeff Brabham on the inside and was now in 3rd. Then, he would get past Alonso Jr. to be in 2nd. Villeneuve would run there for a while. Unfortunately, he ran out of fuel and had to coast back to pit lane. Initially, Villeneuve was going to go through an exit road, since he had an issue. However, he entered the wrong area, causing him to lose time and burn off more fuel, as he had to re-enter the track proper and find the correct area to go to. Once Villeneuve made a pit stop, he stalled his car. With these issues, he finished 2 laps down in 7th. At Indianapolis, Villeneuve had 2 separate practice crashes, which caused him to miss the 500 for a 2nd consecutive year due to an injury. 500 veteran Johnny Parsons would qualify for the race as a replacement in 26th place and finish 5th. Villeneuve returned to his Long Beach form at Cleveland. There, early on, he ran 3rd behind Danny Sullivan and Mario Andretti. At the halfway point, Villeneuve was 2nd. Moments later, though, he spun out, although Villeneuve still finished 4th. For the following race, Road America, Villeneuve would have his day. He started in 4th place, but did not challenge for the lead early on. Sullivan and Unser led a combined 33 of the first 36 laps. However, Sullivan suffered from mechanical issues and Unser crashed out. After the latter incident, Villeneuve got the lead. As rain began to come, every driver had to make a mandatory pit stop for rain tires. Villeneuve's race almost turned to disaster as he struggled to exit his pit stall after getting his rain tires on, and he then spun out. However, he maintained the lead, with his closest competitor being Michael Andretti. Ultimately, Villeneuve led the final 14 laps and got his first IndyCar win. After finishing well at Cleveland and Road America, but having issues along the way, Mid-Ohio was a breath of fresh air for Villeneuve, as he finished 3rd, but had no issues getting there. Then, when IndyCar returned to Canada for Senair, Villeneuve found himself in a good position to get a 2nd win. In the second half of the race, he ran in the top 5. As Unser had a mechanical issue, Villeneuve got into 2nd, behind Rahal. With 16 laps to go on the 0.826-mile track, Villeneuve attempted to pass Rahal for the lead, but they made contact and crashed out, causing Villeneuve to finish 11th. Despite missing 4 races, Villeneuve finished 8th in points. In the off-season, Canadian Tire shut down as a team, so Villeneuve began to drive for Helmelgarn Racing in 1986. After finishing 8th at Long Beach, he finally qualified at Indianapolis. There, Villeneuve started in 15th place. At about the 3/4 point, he was running in a solid 12th place. However, he ultimately retired due to an engine failure, with 154 laps complete, resulting in a finish of 20th. Compared to 1985, 1986 was a struggle for Villeneuve. He started 13 of 17 races and retired from 7 of them, including 3 crashes. Villeneuve would finish in the top 10 5 times, with his best finish being a pair of 5ths at Portland and Meadowlands. Even then, at the former, Villeneuve crashed with Tom Sneva with 2 laps to go. Villeneuve would end the season 15th in points. This would be his final regular season in IndyCar. After this, Villeneuve's car racing activities got more sparse. This included winning the 1989 and 1991 Formula Atlantic races at Choice Rivieras. Villeneuve made a brief return to IndyCar in 1992. That year, he started 2 races for Arciero Racing, finishing 22nd at both Cleveland and Road America. In each case, Villeneuve retired due to a mechanical issue. Additionally, he had more success in snowmobiles as he competed in the Eastern Pro Tour and won at least one championship each year from the 1998-1999 to 2000-2001 seasons. In 2001, Villeneuve was inducted into the Canadian Motorsport Hall of Fame. Jacques Villeneuve may not have been the most famous person from his family in racing, nor was he the most known person in racing with his name, but he had a respectable career. Flow Racing is the home of live and on-demand racing content from NASCAR, USAC Racing, the Chili Bowl Nationals, the All-Star Circuit of Champions, and more. This includes events, original programming, rankings, and behind-the-scenes footage. Go to the link below, also in the description and pinned comment, for a special subscription sign-up from me, Ryan Holman. Monthly subscription rates start at $12.50 per month. Now we're off to the races.